Hey guys, it's Matt. A quick update on Not Milk Free Zone before the regularly scheduled video topic begins. Incredibly, the Not Milk has come back to me with its initial offer for our Not Milk Free Zone. Now, any negotiation starts with a low bid, so I'm certainly going to hold out for better terms. But it's quite encouraging. Right now, they're offering all of us, anybody that wants to go, an entire Chinese ghost city in Xinjiang. But there's some problems, as you can see from the image here. The windows aren't in most of the buildings. There is no plumbing. There is no running water. There's two people that live in the Chinese ghost city now. You can see them pictured along the very bottom of this desolate road. They'll be physically and forcibly removed and meant to work hard labor at the Three Gorges Dam. So there won't be any indigenous Chinese there. We will have the entire Chinese ghost city to ourselves. And right now they're basically presenting it to me as dress it up the way you like, but you'll have to install your own plumbing and electricity and running water. This is an unacceptable bid at this point, and I'll hold out for better terms. Oh, one last thing. Look at this. I forgot to tell you, a particularly attractive part of their offer was our Chinese ghost city contains the world's largest mall. And look at the text at the bottom. World's largest mall remains 99% vacant. This is in our Chinese ghost city that Not Milk is offering us at this time. 99% vacant. There is one vendor in there now. It's an egg roll seller and his wife. Guy rolls the egg rolls himself. They'll also be removed to the Three Gorges Dam. Now, I'm saying this, or I'm pointing this out to you, because a lot of us here are very creative. Many people here are artists or musicians, or you weave baskets, or you whittle wood. We can set up our shops in this mall. Now, there's no foot traffic at this time. We'd only be able to sell to ourselves. We'd sell like one basket every 8 weeks. But there's 40 million Chinese just a 20-minute drive away in the surrounding provinces. We can bring those 40 million Chinese potentially to our mall, package this as the American experience, and part of our negotiation with Not Milk is, at the end of the day, all those Chinese that come in to buy our stuff, get the hell out. Sorry, we now return to our regularly scheduled video topic. I've talked about the movie A Beautiful Mind, starring Russell Crowe, several times over the past 6 or 7 years, mostly about the movie itself tells you that per the Nobel Prize winner John Nash, they put forth a form of collusion and a mathematical form of collusion or collusion strategy that likely they still operate under today. So this could almost be a new series. Every time we see that collusion in place, we could name it something like a John Nash back scratcher or something like that. See, big company, I scratch your back, and big company, you scratch my back. We just work between and amongst ourselves, like all the companies now in the AI space, supposedly at odds with each other, but they're all having the same breakthroughs at the same time. Really? This happens. John Nash back scratchers happen all over the place. I'm going to talk about trash pickup. You know, it's like one of my favorite topics. I'm going to talk about trash pickup in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, and Chester County, Pennsylvania, as a John Nash back scratcher. It's an unnatural Potemkin village. I don't like the dumb term, Potemkin village, but that's like a false facade. It's a Chinese ghost city mall with big banners that say the Apple store is coming in here. It's all false. The Nike store is coming in here. And what they'll do is they'll just put an egg roll seller in. It's a Potemkin village. Everything seems, it just sniffs of Not Milk. Even my local trash pickup. Matt, if you can talk, not talk trash like they would on a basketball court, if you can talk about literal trash and make it interesting and relate it to A Beautiful Mind, well, that's saying something. That's a bold statement. I'm going to try to make it happen. But first, before we leave this Beautiful Mind movie poster, which I've never seen before, yeah, I'm going to have to mention it. I didn't know this one existed. If you're long-haul trucking, I'll give you 2 guesses, but you're only going to need one. Like the thinker, but in this case, his fist shoved over the right eye. Just make it stop. Make it stop. How many times can you make this presentation? The people around us think we're just reading into things. What was that term we talked about a few years back? Apophenia or something. Apophinia is when you crazies make connections or see relationships that really aren't there. When you sniff your glue and watch your conspiracy videos, that's Alpo. It's now the dog food, Alpophinia. You know, it's not Alpo or Apophinia when this right eye presentation is everywhere. Matt, this one's like a Mandela effect mockery. It's a Mandela effect fist to the forehead, like the thinker. John Nash was a thinker. This could be another Mandela effect residual or a Mandela effect mockery. And it's also covering the right eye at the same time. It's a double mockery to crazies like us. I take offense at this, Not Nilk. The Ron Howard film, A Beautiful Mind, where like a 40-year-old Russell Crowe as an actor plays a college kid. Matt, that's not fair. He was a doctoral student at Princeton. Oh, I'm sorry. Then he should be like 23 or 24 years old. Actually, these geniuses fly through so many grades. They graduate high school when they're in 6th grade. He should be 22. So he's a 40-year-old trying to play a college kid. It was my biggest problem in terms of suspension of disbelief I've had in a movie in a long time. I thought the first hour was great. But with these young girls coming and going from that bar and the old man over there trying to do his math problems and all the girls looking at him, it didn't make no sense. Maybe those young girls in the bar at Princeton pictured in the movie thought it was their father. Maybe they thought Russell Crowe was the father, had some sort of reverse Oedipus complex or something. It didn't make no sense. Anyway, in the movie, he basically comes up with a form of collusion. The famous scene in the Princeton bar, and it is a great scene. More good-looking girls come in, and the other smart guy starts talking about Adam Smith, and Adam Smith says the best results when every man operates in his own self-interest. And John Nash leans in and said, Adam Smith needs revision. Adam Smith was incomplete. He says, incomplete. The best results would be achieved if every man operates in his own best self-interest and also in the interest of everyone else. That way we all win. It's basically the old Adam Smith philosophy is the old greed is good. The old Gordon Gekko. Greed is good. If everybody acts in their own self-interest, that's the fuel of capitalism. That's what drives marketplaces. And John Nash, I think they already were colluding, this thing called Not Nilk that goes back a long time. But John Nash, through his mathematical formulas and modeling, took their collusion, took Not Nilk collusion to a whole new level. The movie just outright tells you it is a model for corporate collusion. And everybody, all the popcorn crunchers, just watch them like nothing's happening. I didn't realize it the first time I saw it either, so I guess I shouldn't get on them very much. It's like, more Mike and Ike's. Get me the black licorice. They have no way. The movie's just showing this guy that he won a Nobel Prize. It's such a big deal. The breakthrough is an original and outstanding idea at Princeton. It's a model for corporate collusion that's used today. The movie just flat out tells you, but I guess we're just crazy and one of those people. Here's the scene where his professor, Judd Hirsch, by the way, the greatest American actor of our generation, is reviewing his doctoral thesis, ways for the Not Nilk to take even more power and to screw the people even more, and he's liking what he's reading. He says something like, John, you do realize this flies in the face of, I don't know, what year is he, 150 years of Western economic philosophy. And John, yes. Well, that's a little presumptuous, don't you think, John? Yes. We love it. On behalf of the Not Nilk, John, we love it. John, are you aware that if corporations actually start doing this, there's laws on the books called collusion, and technically if we, as the Not Nilk, operated under the law, it would be illegal? I mean, you realize, John, what you're proposing here is completely illegal, so I guess I shouldn't be getting too excited. You and your little friends at the bar saying y'all work together to get the girls together. See, if corporations do that, John, it's called collusion. And John leans in and says, I had certain family members who were in certain secret societies. Sir, I know those laws don't apply to us. That's why I moved forward with this thesis. And Judd Hirsch looked back and said, John, on the behalf of the Not Nilk, we love it. Congratulations.
Well, when the president does it, that means that it is not illegal. By definition. Exactly. Well, when the
Not
president
Nilk.
does it, that means that it is not illegal. By definition. Exactly.
This is a story of 4 trash collectors. And Matt, if you can pull this off and make this interesting, you're really doing something. I'm going to do my best. Let me pique your interest in this way. How much of the world is a Potemkin village? How much of any company over a certain size is already involved in a gigantic collusion model with similar companies? Another way of putting it is how much capitalism exists over a certain level. You know, if a kid on this block is selling lemonade and there's a kid down the other block selling lemonade, they're in competition with each other at that level. I don't think they're colluding and using John Nash's model. Maybe if a little mom and pop hardware store, just assume that still exists. I know they've all been put out of business 25 years ago by Lowe's and Home Depot and Walmart. A mom and pop hardware store, a small shop, that might be in real competition with other hardware stores in the 70s. But if you get it bigger, if you get just a little bit bigger, a restaurant chain, say, with over 10 locations, then are they sucked up? How much of it is sucked up in this giant collusion model? If anybody's overhearing this video or a family member is tuned in and you don't think Coke colludes with Pepsi, you think, oh, what you just learned in college, they're at odds with each other, and Matt, it's called capitalism. You've got to be kidding me. You know how naive that is? So when we observe, say, medium-level companies or even a little smaller, in some sort of strange collusion, I guess if we start a new series, I'll call it the John Nash Back Scratcher series. And it's just a personal observation that I had, say, over the last 3 years with trash pickup here in Chester County. Now, I'm very strange like this. This is in Beautiful Mind, his roommate that didn't exist because he was a paranoid schizophrenic. He had an invisible roommate. He said, John, you witnessed a mugging. That's weird. This is weird behavior. So if let's say there's a house at the end of the road, a mile and a half from here, an old house. If it changes its trash pickup to like now it has diamond waste from whitetail, I'll notice that. That's weird, I know. If trash hasn't been picked up in certain areas, I know the day. It's weird, I know. You think I'm normal? I'm not. Anyway, so I've observed this. And let's just do 2 minutes or less so this doesn't get too boring. This is about the most interesting in the topic of all time for me to discuss. I know it's not very interesting for you. The general topic is interesting. So anyway, for 18 years here, I have Republic Services, this gigantic billion-dollar corporation. And these trends, I'm sure you'll notice as well. It picked up Monday and Thursday. Now, it's private. We have to pay annually. It's roughly, I don't know what it was. Republic was kind of expensive. It was like almost $500 a year, I think, 400 and some for trash pickup, Monday and Thursday. Then 6 years ago, they announced we're only going Monday, we're dropping Thursday. And I'm sure you've noticed everything's scaled back. The services are scaled back. And then recycling, only every other week instead of every week. Everything's scaled back. It's like, well, that's just capitalism, Matt, trying to save money. Then I get a note in the mail. Again, I know I just have a minute and a half left. Stick with me. Note in the mail, Republic Services is no longer operating or serving individual customers in your area. And they were very good about it. You have 2 months to find another provider. So the main provider around here for individual come to your driveway is A.J. Blazinski. Been around forever. Trash men that were nice on the back of the trash truck. If you put out something extra on the side, they'd pick it up. They were better than Republic Services. And they weren't a multi-billion-dollar company. It was relatively local. And I noticed when it snowed, A.J. Blazinski would be out picking up, and Republic Services would be like, as the giant corporate, we can't drive in the snow, there's 3 inches. So, fine, I have to switch to A.J. Blazinski. They're great. Wonderful. Now, as soon as I switch, I know I have about a minute left. Matt, you're way under that. As soon as I switch, announcement, they're going to be sold to the multi-billion-dollar, horrible, wretched Waste Connections company out of Texas. Multi-billion-dollar conglomerate like Waste Management. And everybody starts talking around here. The service is going to go to hell. It's like a download. How did all my neighbors know that was going to happen? They had my neighbors hadn't done a thesis on what happens to waste collection when a big carrier comes in and takes over. I mean, there was another company that Republic Services took over, BFI, and it was just fine. So, but everybody started talking, oh, it's going to go to hell. I thought, well, it's like a download. How did they know? How would they didn't read articles about how poor Waste Connection. It just was like I'm telling you, it was like a frequency. And okay, fine. And I thought, well, it doesn't make any sense. Isn't the billion-dollar corporation in it to make money? They're still going to pick us up. Like, why is everybody freaking out? I don't know how to talk about it. It was just weird how everybody knew what was coming. And just a matter of months, the Waste Connections caught A.J. Blazinski. It's still the A.J. Blazinski trash truck, still painted the same color, but everybody knows the giant multi-billion-dollar conglomerates behind it. The service started to get worse and worse, and I've talked about it. They just miss. Just won't come. And then the next week they'll pick up your trash, but then leave the recycle. It's been all over the place mess for, and everybody then starts switching to whitetail disposal. So for 10 years, all around here, 80% A.J. Blazinski, 10% Republic Services, or it's more of a Montgomery County company and a few others. And because the service gets so bad, they just literally stop picking up. To me, it's like intentional. This is where I'm going. Yeah, if anybody's stumbling upon this is strange. But this is just, the way this played out was unnatural, guys. Everybody starts switching to whitetail. The brown can, the yellow top, and you can just tell yellow top. It's just everybody's whitetail for miles around here because A.J. Blazinski got so bad and they stopped picking up. But just about 3 years ago, this company seemed to come out of the blue called Whitetail Disposal. Never, and again, as a weird Matt pays attention to this stuff. And I saw just in certain parts of Montgomery County, these gigantic trucks with just hundreds of the big brown cans on the back, like new cans, putting down new cans. Like they're winning these bids. They're winning this bid. They're winning this apartment complex. Where is this company coming from? And they get bigger and bigger and bigger over just a short period of time, 3 years or so. So in other words, if this whitetail didn't get big, like people would have nowhere to go with trash. I mean, I don't know who else serves this area. Republic got out. A.J. Blazinski, well, they're here, but they only pick up like half the time. They're just a mess. There's some other little companies, but it's like, what a coincidence that just when everybody needs to switch, this whitetail got super big and they're ready to serve. And it just seemed like this isn't a coincidence. It's like it's almost like, okay, Waste Connections bought A.J. Blazinski, but then they probably own most of Whitetail, and they're going to put A.J. Blazinski out of business on purpose under the guise of bad service. Why? To me, because all the trash guys are on the back of the truck. It's mostly not automated. You don't think they want to get rid? And I understand the Not Milk does not just operate for money, but this is more about money. This is more about Not Milk collusion. They want to get rid of those trash guys on the back of the A.J. Blazinski's truck. Everybody else has that arm, that picks the damn thing up. At A.J. Blazinski, because it's legacy, 30, 40 years in this area, it's trash guys. And they don't want that. They want to get rid of real people whenever they can. It just was, I'm telling you, it was unnatural. So A.J. Blazinski just can't pick up. They can't do the job. And just when everybody needs a provider to step in, here comes Whitetail with the infrastructure ready to serve the entire region with very reasonable rates, very reasonable. And I thought, this is not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. And overall, it's a minor example. I'm sure even to, certain people overhearing this video, for me to even propose that there's some sort of collusion and planning among trash providers is out there. Matt, is everything in the world a conspiracy? I'm telling you, this was strange how it all went down. Republic Services and Waste Connections, these are, I don't know if you want to look at market cap or whatever, you could call them, billion-dollar or multi-billion-dollar companies. Own 60% of Whitetail, own 45% of Whitetail, buy A.J. Blazinski outright, run them into the ground on purpose. So when the dust settles a few years later, everybody just kind of ends up in the same situation. They have a reliable provider that's relatively reasonable, but now the gigantic billion-dollar company Waste Connections owns most of it. And they've put the little guy out of business as usual. I go down to Marchwood Center here and I film. The Marchwood Hardware is now out of business. All the little restaurants replaced by chains, and all the Not Milk is expert at putting the little guy out of business and constant consolidation into the big. And the bigger they are, they all can work. If you trace it, there's probably one company in the United States that Amazon works for. Everybody in a way, it owns part of. Matt, it's the old money that has all their trillions in Vanguard and Fidelity funds. Yeah, probably. For those that notice these sort of things, I'm sure you have similar stories. They positioned it when all the dust settles again. The trash pickup is back to normal with Whitetail, but now your multi-billion-dollar Not Milk entities are now firmly in place, and the little guy has been removed, and the guys on the back of the trash truck have been removed, taken back to TJ. Guys, there's more to this trash story. I could talk trash for hours. I don't mean that kind. I mean talk literally about trash for hours. So a few times to get rid of TV sets, and you've noticed this also with your garbage pickup. They don't pick up what they used to. Of course, I guess for 20 years they haven't picked up electronics, but certain things, it just kept getting scaled back. I called them up. I'm like, I forget what the item was. I understand the TVs and stuff I have to take to the Lanchester landfill. I'm like, you're the trash company. If I can't give it to you, how can I get rid of it? Like, we don't pick that up. It's always, that's being scaled back too. So a few times over the years, I've been here roughly 22 years, I have to drive to this Lanchester landfill. Now, it's on the border of Lancaster County, which is bigger than some countries, okay, and Chester County. It's would have to be this massive landfill disposal for millions of people. Now, you drive there, you don't see any trash. Okay, it's just weird, guys. How many should the Lanchester landfill, again, serving, I don't know, 1 million people or millions over 2 counties? Again, Chester County could be bigger than the entire country of Luxembourg. There should be trash everywhere, right? You don't see any trash when you go up there. You don't see nothing. Now, okay, there's shots in the air that show piles of trash. Don't take it too far. I'm just saying it's a little strange. We'll talk about it on the back end, and I certainly won't forget this time. But look what it says next to the sign. Lanchester Nature Trail. Again, Lancaster and Chester. Lanchester. Nature Trail around this part of Pennsylvania should look like the city in Soylent Green because so much trash is being delivered. You go to take your little TV set, you have to get in a line of trash trucks. Remember telling you this story. You get in line. Well, where's all the trash? I know they go around the corner, but there should be Empire State Building sized mountains of trash. This isn't serving 2 apartment complexes, guys. Okay, Matt, you stressed that. So they've also changed it where you're almost stuck with your provider. I was like, well, I'm not going to screw it. I don't like this. I'll just drive up there once a month myself and dispose of the trash for free. If it's in bags, they've always told me it's free. I told you last time I went up there. $3 a bag. I thought if it was in bags, she told me years ago, it's free. Because I had loose stuff, like tiles and things like that. So they weighed my car. They weighed my little Scion XB. The 20,000-pound trash truck in front of me. The 20,000. I'm like, I'm disposing of 40 tiles. You got to weigh my car? At the end, it was $8. Like, this is ridiculous. You can't let me throw away these tiles in the back. Well, we got to weigh your car. It's not in bags. So if I were to put this in bags, there'd be no charge. I swear she said yes. So I go up there with bags. The bags aren't full because I think it's free. He's counting. Like, what are you counting? He's like, you got 7 bags. That's $21. $21? It's supposed to. He's like, and he almost basically said it's never been free for bags. It has whatever. I don't know. So I can't even throw away my own trash. So now you're stuck with a provider. And what are they going to do? Of course, now that Waste Connections controls everything here, all of a sudden that reasonable price you mentioned, Matt, will go up, will go up, will go up. You want to all take it to the dump myself. Don't I partially own this dump as a Chester County resident? They're going to charge me $3 a bag. Plus whatever it is, it's a 25-minute drive. Even if they bump my prices up $200 or $300 a year, it's still cheaper having the service pick up than to drive up there at $3 a bag. So it's incredible how this Not Milk puts the screws to everybody. We literally live inside the damn, I call it the Star Wars trash compactor. Now it's called something else, like a Mandela effect for people. The trash compactor, the waste something. I'm always trying, in my own life, I'm Luke trying to put the pole out so the damn walls don't close in. It's Not Milk, you're a real son of a bitch. You saw how pristine the last picture was. Here's another picture, a beautiful flowering tree. Told you, go up there. I've been up there, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. Like, where's the trash? Where's all the trash? For residential, your $3 a bag, you drive off to the right and there's like this bin, like 20 feet long. It's half full. It's like, well, and of course the trash trucks are driving by you, one after the other. They're going around the corner. But again, it just doesn't. I'm sure, Matt, if you drove behind the trash cups, you'd come to many piles of trash. I'm just saying, it just seems like it should be the amount of trash, considering how long this landfill's been there and the sheer number of people it serves and farms. That it should be. I don't know. It should be like 80 Empire State Building's long of trash. There's nothing up there. Yes, okay, I'm going. There's a technology or something to dispose of things in ways that we might not be aware of. Yes, I'm going to bring it into conspiracy. Yes. Okay, it doesn't make sense when you drive up there. And yes, you can see online, there's shots from the air. You can see trash piles. You can see mounds and hills where they've covered it up years ago with barriers, and then they seed it over with dirt. But there's some sort of technology going on. I guess I shouldn't say this again. I'm beating a dead horse. Where, just think of the amount of trash that New York City must produce. And do the piles of trash, is it commensurate with what you think it should be? How's that possible? New York City, it should be 15 to 20 Mount Everests of trash. Matt, they burn it. I know, but there's some sort of technology that's going on that gets rid of 95% of it, in my opinion. It could be related to a technology that they don't want readily discussed, something that could lead to free energy or something that we're not supposed to have, the great unwashed. And of course, Lanchester Landfill, they're very proud to remind you that the recycling's free. When I was complaining about the $3 a bag, well, $3 a bag, all your recycling's free. Oh, really? I look forward to driving 30 minutes each direction past Honeybrook to bring my Coke cans up here and my Miller beer cans up here every other week. The recycling's free. And you bring a television, and then they take that for free. Oh, isn't that nice? But it's $3 a bag. It cost me $21 to get rid of kitty litter. It's like, well, I'm a Chester County resident. Don't I partially own this place? You're going to charge me okay, Matt. The Not Nilk, it's a Not Nilk life for us. Instead of treated, we get kicked. This is being treated unfairly. Is this news to you, Matt? No. Sorry, I went back. I knew I said that wrong. Instead of treated, we get tricked. Instead of kisses, we get kicked. I need to get that right. I started noticing about 5 years ago, it's actually getting hard to get rid of stuff, especially the amount of stuff and junk and things that the typical American household has piled up. Sure, if you've got money, you can get got junk people, they pick up the junk. That's like $150 or something. They pick up your junk and your trash. Now you go to your own landfill, they want to weigh your car, $3 a bag, and it's like, I've been here 22 years, guys, and one of the ways, it's not just because it's continuously getting harder to get rid of stuff, it's like how I'm dealing with reality. Just trying to simplify, because there's no time anymore. Time is like compressed or something. It's strange. There's no time to do anything. One less little trinket to dust. And I didn't even have that much stuff, of course, guys. But like, Pam's old bike, that was hanging in the garage for 15 years, rusting. We used to bike the first few years I was up here around the hills here. Nobody uses it. And I, broke it down, got rid of the frame, just moving to get a kayak was hanging in my garage for 12 years. It was Pam's friends Craig's. They kayaked a river up here, stored it in my garage, and just for a decade, it would have been up there for decades if I didn't move to get rid of it. But the point is, 5 years ago, like it's harder. It's getting hard to get rid of stuff because the got junk people are expensive. And again, in the old days of Republic Services trash, you could pile up stuff next to the can, and they would take it. They would get out of the truck or whatever. Now it's like if it's not in the can, they won't take it. All these rules. Oh, we don't pick that up. So again, guys, people are listening from all over the world, from different parts of the country. Somebody's saying, well, my dump down the road's free. It's always, well, that's great for you. I mean, I'm just saying it's, this is like blue state liberal here. More, it has like a Massachusetts, New York City feel. So I can kind of sense and feel what the Not Nilk wants to bring to your neighborhood. Maybe it happens here 10 years before it happens to you. But I moved in here in 2002, and every cent I'd ever saved went into the house. So people, I probably told you this before, like friends like, oh, I'm getting rid of this old leather couch, Matt. Do you want it? Oh, yeah, sure, yeah. I just took in everybody's junk for 5 years. Matt, you want the old rocking chair? I'd just go get it, whatever. Yeah, I'll take it. Oh, you got an old bean bag? I'll take it. So I wasn't full of stuff, but I took everybody else's junk. because it was, again, it's just me here, and the place isn't like really dirty or anything, but I just like, I don't know, people are gonna, because a lot of my friends were like real trendy, and they had to have the new, sectional from Raymore and Flanagan's, so I took the old sectional because there was some Poppy pee from Seinfeld or some cat pee, so it's been hard. It's actually been work to get rid, and I'm finally there. And my advice to anybody listening, it's the way the Not Milk is moving. It's getting costly to get rid of your stuff. The Not Milk doesn't want to make it easy for people to get rid of their stuff and their junk. So my advice is to start getting rid of it in little tiny increments. Just a little extra to fit in the trash can, whatever. Start doing it now is my advice. And the last thing about trash I wanted to talk about is, one, the hypocritical nature of all the Al the Boer environmentalist liberals that complain about the environment and this and that, and then they get in their giant SUVs, and of course, outside their house, their trash just completely packed full. That's my biggest gripe. You drive through these neighborhoods, it's not even gigantic McMansions, regular homes in this area. It's a husband and a wife, say 2 kids and a dog, and the trash bin is completely full or overflowing every single week. And it's not just their fault. You say, well, how much does the family need to buy? It's mostly the Not Milk's fault. Everything individually wrapped, individually packaged. Packaging inside packaging. It's the opposite of the old milkman. The old milkman would put the milk down in bottles. I don't know, I saw this in a Three Stooges episode once, and we've all heard about the milkman if we're over age 40. Then you'd put the bottles back out, they would be washed and use the same bottles. There's zero trash. Now think about the tens of millions of milk cartons and sure, it's all recycled properly. Oh sure. But the Amazon packaging, and it's partially the family's fault, because how much crap does the American household need to take in? But everything is packaged in such a way that it's almost, even sometimes, look, I haven't bought a piece of clothing. I don't know. Other than a few things from the Goodwill, I haven't bought a piece of clothing in a mall in 15 to 18 years. And sometimes my trash, even without trying to get rid of all the olds, even my trash is full. But if mine's full, because again, all the packaging and the way it's disgusting. And the Not Milk, it's so hip. The Not Milk has done this to us intentionally. Same idea, like refrigerators are disposable. If you have like a lemon and it only starts to go bad after 5 or 6 or 7 years, nobody gonna fix it. You're gonna have to get another one, just something else to go in the landfill. Everything's disposable. That's on the Not Milk. But what's on the people, the hypocrites, complain about environmentalism, and they'll be big proponents of Al the Boer. And every week their trash will be overflowing in the packaging, and they'll drive the big SUVs. Then they'll complain and bitch at you that you're not a believer of the global charming and primate change. And everything in their life is basically hypocritical, other than the fact that they're proud of their recycling and they'll have a solar panel somewhere. I mean, the hypocrisy, boy, could do a whole YouTube channel on these liberal assholes and the hypocrisy that goes along with their lifestyles. I don't think I've ever showed you this poster of Bill's before, which is about space, but I can use it to close out this discussion on trash. So let me get this straight. You expect me to believe, you and your Jimmy come up, you expect me to believe y'all climb into a tuna can and pretend to fly into space in your Bradford White hot water heater? What's that called? What you call that again, boy? Blue Origin? Blue bullshit is what it is. I'll bring this poster back several times, Bill, but I'm going to use it for the trash. And to close out this video with this segment using this poster, Big Daddy here of Django Unchained can represent, say, some of the family members that may be listening to my video presentations now. So Big Daddy say, "Look, get this straight, boy. What's your name? Matt, you and your Jimmy, your Bill Lottahose, your Greg, your old guard, your Jimmys come up here. No appointment, no nothing. And you're telling me there's some sort of trash conspiracy in your Chester County where this thing, what'd you call it, boy? Yeah, that's right, not Nilk. It's coordinating trash pickup and playing games with the players and the companies just to eventually end up so they could screw you even more, control you. You got some delusions of conspiracy, boy. And it's not just that. You went and you visited your Lanchester trash film. What'd you say, boy? There's some sort of weird a hidden technology as to why the trash isn't piled up 20,000 times higher than Mount Everest? Boy, what's that boy that works down there with the glass? Jerry. That's right. You worse, Matt. You and your ilk are worse than Jerry. So, Patina, you take Matt here and all his ilk and these crazy people, you show him all the pretty things all around the Big Daddy plantation. How you want me to treat him, Big Daddy? Matt and his ilk? You treat them a little bit like Forrest Gump and a little bit like Sling Blade. You got it? Sure thing, Big Daddy. Thanks for listening.